Hey y'all, welcome to the Spiritual Tea Video Podcast. I'm your host KJ and welcome. Yay! On this channel, we will talk about all things spirituality, consciousness, and just how to be your best self overall. I am typically a TikTok girly, but since the so-called ban is happening in January, I decided to expand my horizons and see what YouTube had to offer me. So I'm really excited to do this video. Thank you for clicking on it, and let's get started. So obviously you clicked on this video because you want to learn how to be your most authentic self, and I have the tips to tell you how. But first, before we get into that, let's talk about what is authenticity. So authenticity to me is being yourself, your most raw, genuine, pure form self, no matter who, what, when, where, why, how. No matter the circumstances, you are still you. So I know you're probably like, well, when I go to work, I have to be professional, blah, blah, blah. So like, yeah, when I'm at work, I'm professional, but I'm professionally me. So I'm still me. I'm still going to say what needs to be said. I'm still going to be honest. I'm going to do my job, but it's going to be the truth. It's going to be real. I don't care who you are. I'm not going to suck up or kiss your butt, nothing. So why is authenticity important? So first, let us make note that in the culture that we live in the society that we live in, especially if you're American, we are taught to follow the trends. We are taught to follow the rest of the pack. We are taught to be herded. You know, we're not really taught to have critical thinking skills and to, ask, now why is that so? Like, what does that mean? We're not taught to be inquisitive. We're taught to just go along with the get along to get along. And, I don't think that's very helpful to anyone. Authenticity is important because it makes breaking out of what I just said so much easier. When you know who you are, when you know your true self, it's hard for people to influence you negatively. You can't be peer pressured. It's hard for, and I won't say can't, everybody's influenceable to a certain degree. But I will say it's much more difficult to get you into this position in this space when you're in your authentic power. When you really know yourself, those outside things seldom faze you. It helps you to get closer to divine creator, to spirituality, to God, to Allah, to Buddha, whomever you subscribe to. It just propels you forward. It propels you closer. Authenticity in itself is a spiritual and divine energy. It's high vibration. So when you're in this energy, it helps you to attract the things that were meant for you right to your doorstep. So the right friends, the right opportunities, abundance, whatever it is that you're manifesting, being your authentic self helps you to call these things in. It's difficult for the universe to give you what you're asking for if you don't know yourself and you don't even know what you want. Think of it in that way, because authenticity does directly correlate to what do I want? Why do I want it? Is this really indicative of my authentic self, of my highest good? I'd also like to say that authenticity helps you to stand in your confidence, in your power. So for instance, I have a lot of unconventional opinions. I don't really like labels, but if you had to label me, I would say I'm a hippie. I'm definitely what my mom likes to call me, earth crunchy. I definitely subscribe to Mother Nature and to those different things. And I don't like to do certain things. Like I don't like to eat certain foods. I don't like to use certain products. I'm very, very particular. And that's just authentically a part of my personality. It gets on people's nerves when I'm like, you might want to read the label on that, especially for family members. I don't just do that to random people. But when it's my family and I really care about you, I'm going to let you know that the different stuff that you're doing or the different stuff that you're using might not be for your highest good. I'm gonna let you know. And it might not be popular. It might be annoying. I'm okay with that. But that's authentically who I am. I am a helper. I want the people around me to be successful and to be healthy and to be happy. So I'm gonna say what I need to say. Now, I like to be honest. I like to keep things a buck. So it would be disingenuous and unauthentic. It would be inauthentic of me to not tell you that there are definitely cons to being authentic. The cons that I speak of aren't like, oh, you become a terrible person and, death will befall upon you and your no, that's very dramatic. The first con is you will more often than not, you're going to be misunderstood. So when you're at a different level of understanding, especially when you're tapped into your authentic power, because most people aren't, when you're in this energy of authenticity, a lot of people are not going to understand you or where you're coming from. I want you to imagine a person, a blank slate. This person has had a litany of experiences of different religions or one religion, different people and places and experiences to make them who they are today. Not everybody is empathetic. Not everybody can put themselves in someone else's shoes and understand how they're thinking and feeling. So it's important to understand that when you tap into this energy of being your true self, everybody is not going to receive it with open arms. Everyone's not going to welcome you and be like, oh my gosh, I love how authentic you are. No, especially if your lack of authenticity was causing you to have a lack of boundaries. The people who benefited from you not having boundaries are not going to be happy that you now have boundaries. And that's facts. Another con to being authentic is that you're not going to have a lot of people around you. You're more times than not going to be alone. Now, I personally love being alone. This isn't really a con to me. I really wouldn't say I get lonely either, because being alone and feeling lonely are two different things. But this goes hand in hand with people misunderstanding you. If people misunderstand you and they don't really know what the hell you're talking about, why would they want to spend more time with you? And vice versa. If you don't really, you might understand them, you might understand where they're coming from, but if you have nothing in common, why would you even want to waste your energy or their energy or either of y'all's time trying to understand each other? It's like they're talking Chinese, you're speaking Spanish. Neither one correlates. You don't know what you're talking about. So if you decide to go on this journey of authenticity and, really examining yourself, just beware that these are the things that can happen and will happen more times than not, especially if you're genuinely authentic. It's going to happen. The people around you aren't going to resonate with you anymore. The things that you eat aren't going to resonate with you anymore. The things that you do that you thought you liked, your hobbies, everything is going to change. It's kind of like a 360 to your whole personality. And there will be things in there that you're like, oh, I've always been this way. I can capitalize on this. I can, make this a strength. There are going to be things that still resonate with you, but there will be other things where you thought were you the whole time, and you discover they were just other people's projections on you. So a little bit about me and my story and, how I became authentic. So I started on my spiritual awakening journey, which is what I like to dub it. Some people will call it, their healing journey or their self-love journey. It really depends on what you subscribe to. But when I went on my spiritual awakening journey, when I started it, I was 19. So I've been in it for about going on 5 years. And at that point, before I, really even went into it, I didn't really like who I was or where I was at the moment. I was really depressed, had anxiety, I was super overweight, unhealthy, couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, those kinds of things. And I didn't even really have a full picture or perspective of who I was. I didn't really know myself. I wanted to fit in. I wanted people to like me. I cared about what people thought. I cared about their opinions. I sought outward validation from others. And that all plays a part in not knowing your true authentic self, because when you don't know yourself, you rely on others to tell you who you are. Boom! Some things that were also solidified in who I used to be, or at least I thought it was. I used to hate going outside. I used to hate trees, hate the sun, hate bugs. And I say hate because this is how I used to feel. I used to be a very, very negative person. I can't do this. I can't do that. I was not happy with who I was. I was miserable. However, once my spiritual awakening journey was triggered, and it was triggered by a friendship, romantic-ship, complication-ship, horrible-ship, whatever that crap was, that is what triggered my spiritual awakening. And I learned a lot about myself. Even in those first few weeks, I learned that everything I thought I knew was not true. The people that were around me who I thought were my friends and had my best interests at heart, or you know, the different things that I would do that I thought I loved, that I thought were my passion, just weren't. I was on track to be a nurse. I was in nursing school and I got my CNA. I was on track to doing that. And then I sat down and I was like, wow, this is not what I want to do at all. This is what my parents and family want me to do. And I was completely shattered because I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? Like, this is like literally 11 years in the making. This is several years in the making that I'm just throwing down the drain and I have no clue what I'm going to do. It was completely terrifying. I was terrified. Honestly, looking back, dropping out of nursing school and completely changing the course of that was one of the best things I've done. And I'm really happy I did it. Because honestly, sitting here now that I think about it, I don't want to be a nurse. They do a great job. I'm very thankful to our nurses. You know, we should really treat them with respect. However, that was just not the life that I was trying to, that was not the path I wanted to go down, you know? I'm more into the mental health thing, so that's where I am right now. So here's the part of the video that I'm sure that you are ready for, that you were waiting a long time for, waiting for a lot of yapping from me. But I had to build up to, you know, there's a build up. So here are the things that I did personally that helped me to reach this state of authenticity. I would say now, as I sit here in front of you guys making this video, I am in my authentic power. I am in my authentic self as KJ. And that doesn't mean that there's not more to learn or that I'm fully healed, because I don't really believe in that. You can always work on yourself. There's always another level that we can progress to. But as I sit in front of you right now, I am the best version of myself that I've ever been. I can tell you that, hands down. So here are some things that I did that helped me to tap into my authentic power. So number one, first thing I did is I worked on my relationship with God and the universe. So like I said, this channel definitely talks about spirituality, but I promise I'm not trying to shove it down your throat. You do what you feel, but this is something that really helped me. That was one of my things that prior to my spiritual awakening, I was religiously confused. I was spiritually bankrupt, questioning if God was real, questioning the powers that be in this world. I was completely lost. And, you know, there have been some things that have happened to me over the years, over this period of time, that has completely solidified the existence of the universe and God. And I have no doubt in my mind that those things exist. And that is one of the main things that really helped me to get to this level. And how do you do that? I ask universe for help. I ask God for help. You know, I meditate, I pray, I verbalize, I think, I write, you know, I script. These are some different things that I do that have helped me to tap into my spirituality and to get closer to God. The universe gives me my direction and my purpose, and it helps me to solidify that within myself. Now that I know myself, now that I'm authentically in my power, I have no doubt in my mind that I'm on the right path and I'm doing what I need to do. And the universe has helped me a lot with that, sending me signs, angel numbers, animals, and, you know, just different messages. And they're there. You just have to know what to look for. And you have to be paying attention. And you have to be open to it. Most importantly, you have to be open to receiving the messages from the universe. You can't be like, oh, this shit's some bullshit. The universe is not going to take kindly to that. So that was the first thing I did. The second thing I did was ask myself why. So I'm really big into self-reflection, into working on myself. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I love it. I don't want to say obsessed because that's such a strong word, but I love working on myself. I love kind of like being like, I did used to do that. I do that now. I need to work on that. Like, it's one of my hobbies, really. One thing I definitely heavily relied on was asking myself, why? Why am I doing this? You know, why do I hate this? Why did I do that? What happened in my life? What experience has caused me to behave this way? You know, one thing that you could do when you're asking yourself why, and this is something that I do, first of all, I talk to myself, like have full-blown conversations with myself. I don't care if it seems crazy. It's okay, you know, it's okay to be a little out there. Everybody doesn't really have to get it, you feel me? But I encourage everybody to talk to themselves. Sometimes what I would do is overthink. And once I found a different way to cope with overthinking, which is talking out loud, it's actually very helpful. And they say that people with high IQs do it. Look that up, Google that. One thing you can do is you can look in the mirror. You don't even have to do all this heavy shadow work at once, you know? It's a process, it takes time. Really look at yourself, really take a good look at yourself, an honest look at yourself. What are the parts of myself that I don't like? What are the parts of myself that don't feel authentic? What are the parts of myself that I'm putting on a front for other people? You have to ask yourself these questions. You have to be brutally honest with the answers. That doesn't mean being mean. A lot of times people equate being honest with being mean. The two don't have to be the same. You can be honest with yourself and be like, this is what I need to work on. This is something that's not working for me. You know, this is a negative pattern that I have. How can I make it positive? How can I make this weakness into a strength? You know, you have to talk to yourself like that, because nobody else is going to do it for you. Another thing you can do is, when I was going through my shadow period and through my awakening period, something that I heavily was journal. I was putting all these different experiences down. I mean, I still have a list of all of my different negative traits that I really wasn't vibing with, or that I kind of found annoying within myself. And I have what they are and a little paragraph, a little blurb next to it with experiences and thoughts on why I am that way. Because when you're conscious, then you can start to work on the problem. So like, for instance, one of my things was like having control issues. I can be a control freak. It's true. More so in the past. Now I'm way more like, you know, it's cool, whatever, do what you got to do. But in the past, I couldn't respond that way because I didn't even know I was a control freak. I was just operating based off of what I knew, based off of how I was taught. Really important part of learning how to be your authentic self is having new experiences, meeting new people, you know, going to different food excursions, eating at different restaurants, cooking new meals, trying different things. You want to expand your worldview. You want to expand your point of view. You don't want to just be like, this is KJ's point of view. All I've ever known was being raised Christian, being Black. No, you want to learn all the different facets that life has to offer. You want to be as open-minded to new experiences as possible. Healthy, safe experiences. Not just doing anything just to do it, but stuff that actually makes sense to the growth of your highest self. So this is a perfect example. I used to have religious struggles. I was raised a Baptist Christian, and it never really resonated with me. I never really I read the Bible, I went to church, you know, but these different things, they just never did it for me. Then I went on my spiritual awakening journey and I learned these different things, and I was like, oh wow, you know, like, this really resonates for me. But during this period, what I did to combat that, to really get an understanding, I started reading. I read a bunch. I did a lot of research. I read parts of the Quran. I read parts of the Lotus Sutra. I read, you know, parts of Celtic ancient mythology. I was just learning. I was absorbing so much information, and it helped me to understand, okay, well, I kind of resonate with that, but I don't really resonate with that, but it's interesting, you know, not judging, but just being open to the experience of life, to the experience of knowledge. I also met a bunch of people, you know, I was way more social back then. I was way more open with my social energy and giving out my energy to people, which I definitely am not now. But you can learn so much just by listening to what other people have to say. You know, they can tell you about their own journey, even if they don't know they're on one, because we're all on one. But they can tell you so much. You can learn so much from them. And you can learn from children. I used to work with kids. Well, I work with kids now, but I used to work with really young kids. And they say some of the most profoundest, otherworldly shit. You're like, what are you even talking about? This is amazing. And I truly do believe kids are the most tapped in out of all of us, because they're fresh, they're new, they're straight out the womb, you know what I'm saying? So they know a lot more than we give them credit for. Another thing that I want to add is, during this time, I spent a lot of time alone. So this is not me saying that you can't learn about yourself while being around others, because, you know, I was still hanging out. I was still around my friends, my parents, blah, blah, blah. But I did have to have a time of like in tarot, if you're already familiar with tarot at all, the hermit mode. I do like to isolate frequently. I still do this now when I need to learn something new or I need to convene with the universe and God. I don't like to be around a lot of people. I don't want to be around a lot of energy. I want to really sit there and go through my mind, my soul, my spirit, and understand why something's happening the way it is, or understand who I am as a person. And it's very difficult to do that with other people around, especially when they're projecting on you. When you learn that a lot of people's, thoughts and feelings towards you are preconceived notions from their mind, from their perspective, from their experience, you learn to stop giving that attention and energy. Really, it's important to focus on yourself and to learn what makes you tick. You can't let anybody else tell you really what makes you tick. You have to find out for yourself. I get so many people who think that they know me, who think that they know every facet of me. And it's just crazy because I don't think that you can ever know somebody 100%. And do we even really want to be known 100%? It's like, I think it's weird. I don't know. The last thing I want to say that can help you to become your most authentic self is to stop seeking outwards validation and opinions and love. So, it's great to be loved. It's great to be liked. It's great to be cared for. On the same hand, I'm sure it sucks to feel rejected. I'm sure it sucks to feel like people don't like what you're wearing or don't like how you look. But once I stopped, because I used to be very much, okay, is this a funny thing to tweet? Do you like this video? Should I post this? What do you think about this? And what do you think about my outfit? I used to just be very concerned with how other people thought about me, which was keeping me from being myself. Because if somebody said they didn't like what I was wearing, but I liked it, I was going to do what they said, because I was like, well, if they don't like it, that means everybody doesn't like it. But then I came to the conclusion many years later, who cares what any of them like? You can like my outfit, you can dislike my outfit. It's about whether you like it and how you feel about yourself. Do you know you look good? Then you look good. You know you're the shit? Then you're the shit. You don't need anybody to tell you. And that definitely is a difficult lesson to learn. The first thing that can really help with that is to just stop asking. Ask yourself instead. I know it might sound like a lunatic. Ask yourself, KJ, do you like this outfit? I don't know, KJ. We'll see. Or KJ, you look good. Compliment yourself. Talk yourself up. Hype yourself up. Be the validation that you want from others. And just a disclaimer, we all have free will. If there's something you don't like about yourself, and if there's something that you think could be better, you have the power to improve it and to change it. Don't let anybody scare you into thinking that you can't reach these goals and aspirations that you have. But it's going to take work from you, and it's going to take, thought and intention. And I believe in you, and I know that you can do it because I did. That's my thoughts, really. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Everybody can be in their authentic power. Everybody could be the best version of themselves. I have no doubt in my mind. I am rooting for you. Please tell me how you like this video. Please share your experiences in the comments. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I've never had to say that before. And until the next one, I'm wishing y'all peace, love, and light. See ya.